Welcome to a new episode on What Does This Data Say? I'm Ajay Prakash. Today I'm going to talk about a great narrative. It's about the Jammu and Kashmir that Modi will want us to believe. So let's do a reality check. What happens after the abrogation of 370 in J&K? August 5, 2019. Modi calls it a historic correction. Amit Shah declares now peace will return to Kashmir, and television anchors celebrate the final integration of J&K into India. But 6 years later, the ground tells another story of continuing violence, shrinking democracy, and a total collapse of governance. This is the Jammu and Kashmir that Modi wants us to believe, and the Jammu and Kashmir that really exists. The official claim is simple: terrorism has ended, normalcy is back. But numbers don't lie. According to the South Asian Terrorism Portal, Jammu and Kashmir recorded over 60 terrorism related incidents in 2024, in which more than 50 civilians and security personnel were killed, and dozens more in 2025. As the data from SATP shows, civilian security fatalities, show a yearly decline in numbers, they spike whenever a terror incident occurs. After 2019, terror incidents went on increasing until 2023. This goes against the belief that after abrogation of Article 370, terrorism showed a downward trend. Though the incidents decreased, there was no significant drop in number of civilian and security persons being killed. Killings became more targeted. In April 25, the world saw it again. Pahalgam, the heart of Kashmir's tourism revival story, turned into a killing ground. Militants opened fire on tourists near the Baisaran Valley, killing 26 and injuring about 20. Videos of chaos, smoke, and screams from safe tourist zone shredded the illusion of peace. The Union Minister Jitendra Singh in June 2024 had mentioned that terrorists, desperate following the pressure by security forces in the Kashmir Valley, are trying to shift the focus of their activities to the Jammu region. But this will not be allowed to happen. The killings of innocent continued. And if victory meant more coffins, who exactly was losing? Let's rewind a bit. In 2016, Modi said demonetization would destroy terror funding. Old notes were banned, terrorism will end. But within days, new 2000 rupee notes were found with the militants in Kashmir. The claim of financial strangulation vanished faster than the old currency itself. Yet no accountability, only new headlines, new distractions. On the eve of Article 370's abrogation, 8 million people in Jammu and Kashmir were cut off from the world. Internet was shut, mobile phones were disabled, journalists were silenced. Even hospitals struggled to contact doctors. It became the longest internet blackout ever imposed in the world in a democracy. Thousands were detained, many without charges. Political leaders from Mehbooba Mufti to Umar Abdullah were jailed under preventive laws. Schools were shut, businesses collapsed, and yet Delhi called it peace. The blackout wasn't just digital, it was moral. It was the state cutting off the people and calling it governance. 6 years later, Jammu and Kashmir still doesn't have an elected government, no assembly, no local accountability. A non-entity from Delhi runs the union territory like an outpost. Orders are signed by unelected officials, not representatives of the people. Even the Supreme Court has questioned the center's delay in restoring statehood. But the government keeps pushing deadlines. First 2021, then 2022, now after delimitation, then after elections. When politics becomes administration and administration itself becomes propaganda, people stop being governed. They start being managed. In 2022, the Home Minister Amit Shah decided to withdraw the army from interior Jammu region, claiming that militancy was finished. The result? A series of ambushes in Rajouri, Poonch and Doda. Dozens of soldiers and civilians were killed. Even retired generals, including Major General G.D. Bakshi, warned the move was premature. But the government was chasing optics, not security. When you declare victory too early, the enemy doesn't retreat, it regroups. And that's exactly what happened. Whenever violence rises or questions grow, the PR machinery kicks in. The drone shots of new railway tunnels, Modi inaugurating expressways, tourism ads saying, "Welcome to peaceful Kashmir." Infrastructure is necessary, no doubt, but governance is not a photo op. Unemployment in J&K remains among the highest in India. Jammu and Kashmir recorded the highest unemployment rate of 32% among job seekers in the age group of 15 to 29 in urban areas, followed by Orissa at 30.4 according to the latest quarterly periodic labor force survey. Private investment promised after 2019 remained mostly on paper. Even tourism, the supposed success story, collapses with every new attack. After the Pahalgam killings, hotels saw 90% cancellations in a week. That's not normalcy, that's denial. You can't run a state on drone footage and hashtags. The most dangerous change in post 370 Kashmir isn't what you can see, it's really what you can't hear. Journalists are harassed, questioned, or arrested under anti terror laws. Newspapers survive only if they echo the government line. Civil society is crippled by fear. Ordinary citizens think twice before posting online. A single tweet can trigger police summons. More than 2,300 people in Jammu and Kashmir have been arrested under the Draconian Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, the UAPA, since 2019, while nearly 1,000 people have been detained under the Public Safety Act, according to the Indian Express and the Wire. This is not peace, it's paralysis. This is a silence imposed from above and sold as a stability. Article 370's abrogation was marketed as true integration. But integration without consent is control. Kashmiris didn't gain equality, they lost their right to decide. Even Ladakh, once promised autonomy, now protests for constitutional safeguards and representation. If integration means you lose your legislature, your voice, and your autonomy, that's not unity. The centralization dressed as nationalism. Here's the truth: you can change a map, you can silence critics, you can build tunnels and call them development, but you can't replace governance with gimmicks. You can't build peace by silencing pain. And you can't claim integration when people have no representation. Jammu and Kashmir doesn't need photo ops. It needs governance. It doesn't need highways. It needs hope. It doesn't need speeches. It needs statehood. Until then, Modi's Naya Kashmir remains what it is: a headline without healing, a promise without proof, a myth without meaning. Thank you for watching.